good. How you guys doing? Okay, so this video is Dinesh D'Souza top 5 campus moments. Let's see how I react a couple Dinesh D'Souza videos. Um, I don't feel him too much. I know he just released a movie, 2000 Mules. I haven't watched it. I mean, it's about the election, all that stuff, which I don't know. I understand a lot of weird stuff happening, but nothing after that has happened, so I don't want to get into it. So I'm gonna react to the top 5 campus moments. Here we go.
Fascism in Germany was so similar to Stalinism in the Soviet Union. Why did Hitler consider Stalin his greatest enemy and consider that Lebensraum to the east was the way to go, and killed 80% of his soldiers to fight the Soviets if they were basically the same ideology?
Very good question, which is, if Nazism and communism are both leftist, how come they went to war? First of all, it's important to realize that ideologies that are very close to each other frequently do go to war. The Catholics and the Protestants, the Shia and the Sunni. The Shia and the Sunni are both in the House of Islam. They actually agree on 99% of theological beliefs, but they've been fighting for centuries. Why?
Yeah, he's very
Competitions
smart.
over territory,
Very
power,
smart.
and so on. Remember that Hitler was a national socialist. The reason that Hitler hated the communists was not because they were socialists. He liked that part about it. What he didn't like is that they were taking their orders from Moscow. He saw them as traitors to Germany. So Hitler's priority was socialism in Germany. Now remember that Hitler, who went to war with Stalin, was allied with Stalin. So on the foreign policy domain, Hitler was perfectly happy to sign the Hitler-Stalin Pact and then violate it for reasons of national interest. So the bottom line of it is the fact that Germany and the Soviet Union went to war in no way refutes the idea that progressivism, communism, and fascism were all three sister movements that developed in Germany, in Italy, in America, and in Russia.
Very interesting.
All in response to the crisis of Marxism. The Republican Party has been nominating one Boy Scout after another. McCain, Romney. Romney is such an unbelievable Boy Scout. I mean, if I were writing his college recommendation to Texas A&M, it would begin with something like this: not since Jesus Christ.
See, I like this about the Republican Party of the right. They're willing to criticize their own, let's say, their own side, right? I think like it's very common for them to criticize their own side. So I like that.
Not in. Squeaky clean. But here's the problem. The moment Romney comes onto the national stage, within 5 minutes, the left makes him into Lucifer. You're greedy, you're selfish, you're an exploiter. Where did you get $200 million? And Romney is on the defensive, up against the wall, explaining, apologizing. Now you notice that nobody makes this accusation against Trump. Nobody goes, hey Trump, where did you get $1 billion? Trump has more money than Romney. How did you get $1 billion? You can't do this to Trump, because if you do it, he'll sit you down and explain to you that he has $2 billion. He's a lot richer than you thought.
Huh. Psychology, huh? Psychology games, yeah. Psychology games.
So with Trump, this desire to hit back, I think, reflects a tendency in the Republican Party now to say, okay, if you gangsterize one side, the other side has to get tough. That's the sad reality of the situation. In other words, would we like to live in the kinder, gentler Reagan era that I grew up in? Yes. But that era is not here anymore. Reagan wouldn't understand it. He'd be a fish out of water, because the political waters are too roiled right now.
Okay.
But the one guy I think who would be completely at home in America today is Abraham Lincoln. Why? Because the waters were even more roiled when Lincoln came in. And Lincoln realized, a very moderate man, by the way, that there was a time to be extremely tough. The basic idea of fascism...
I like that one. I like that one. I would like to find that video. If someone knows it in the comment section below, just send it to me. I would like to just go to that video and just watch it.
Was government control over the private economy and government control over the lives of citizens. That's the meaning of fascism. That's what it is. That's what the Nazis were all about, the National Socialist Party. In my movie,
What's going on? Oh, the protest.
well,
Okay. All right.
well,
Stop the poor.
we have some
Saying what? We believe stop the poor. That's what they say.
Dr. Ford enthusiasts here. Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you guys this question. Well, okay, if you'll stop chanting, I'll address your point. Here's something interesting. Where is Dr. Ford? You know, this is really interesting. When I noticed that when Roy, hold on, don't shout at me. You'll have a chance to ask questions. When Roy Moore was attacked by all these women, he oppressed me, he did this, he did that. And suddenly, when he's defeated, they all melt into air. This is Karl Marx. All that is solid melts into air. Suddenly, the media, hold on, don't shout at me. Don't shout at me. No, you came voluntarily. Did I ask you to come? No, don't shout at me.
Oh, okay. Okay. Don't take kindness as weakness. He looked like a very kind guy. You taking that as a weakness. Don't do that. You're opening a Pandora box.
Fascism, no, I'm exposing you as a fascist. Because...
Oh, okay.
Do you realize... I'll tell you how. You asked me a question. Hold on.
There. Okay, rapist, alright. How can I say that word? Ooh. Papist. Papist.
Are you familiar with the black shirts in Italy or the brown shirts in Germany? Do you realize that they would go to campuses, goons, and would stand in the back of the room, and when somebody tried to make an intelligent presentation and answer questions, they would shout them down, yell at them, try to intimidate them, and count as success if they could get the event canceled and the speaker threatened. But see, the problem is, sometimes you get speakers like me who are not scared of people like you. We recognize your frauds.
Okay.
I recognize that ultimately you are afraid of ideas. You're not willing to engage with me. Yes, you're afraid of ideas. You're not afraid of fascists. You think I pose a threat to you? I'm an immigrant. I came to America with nothing. What threat do I pose to you?
You've kind of thrown out some fairly incendiary facts or claims. The year before the Civil War, not a single Republican owned a slave. The big switch is a lie. Nixon's strategy is a hoax. We hear a lot about fake news, and you're talking about fake history.
It's a big claim, bro. Bro, that's a big claim. Let's see if he has the facts, but that's a big claim, bro. He looked like this kind of guy that will sit down with a bunch of people, and he will supposed to expose this person in their back. And he knows everything kind of guy. And he told his friend, hey, I'm going to do this in front of you guys. That way you guys see. And here's his opportunity to be the hero. Here it is.
I only hear you talking about it. Why don't I hear others? I don't see conservatives out in the street with their children's history books, burning them in a pile. I don't see students here at this university taking their history books and complaining about the falsehoods in it.
Yeah.
So why is that? And would you be willing to come to this university and debate our top scholars on these topics?
The answer is absolutely yes. Not only do I welcome that opportunity, but I will debate up to 6 opponents at the same time.
Damn, bro. Okay. Okay.
My leading public critic on this, the Princeton historian Kevin Cruz, who says things like...
Bro, he says 6 people at the same time. He says 6 people at the same time, bro. That's a little bit too much, man. This is the story, the history of the Civil War is just so complex that everybody knows everything, I guess. And everybody knows everything, but they don't know anything, I guess, because there's so many factions to it. It's just insane. But he said he's willing to just debate 6 people.
Like there was a big switch, and then when I point out to him that there wasn't, He says, what about Jesse Helms? What about Trent Lott? What about John Tower? And I say, well, let's not debate apples and oranges. Those men are not Dixiecrats. Just to find a Southern Democrat who became a Republican isn't going to make your case. You have to find racist Dixiecrats and show me that those guys, who are accountable. If you Google racist Dixiecrats, a whole number of names will come up on your phone. We're talking about those guys. And so I told Kevin Cruz, why don't I come to your home campus, Princeton University? Let's have a debate in front of your own students. You have all the advantages of being on your home ground. You're going to have the home team advantage. His response, I won't do it. He refuses. He says it's not the proper format to resolve these issues. Think of it. Debate is not a proper format to resolve an important difference of agreement. And I take that to really mean that what he's saying is, look, here at Princeton, we have enough leftists in the history department that we've got our students completely brainwashed. Your type is not going to be welcome here because the only thing you can do is make converts, and that's going to be incendiary for us. So we're not going to let that happen.
It seems as
Damn,
though
man.
you're trying to point fingers at
I've seen many things about Dinesh. I'm starting to like him a lot. I saw 2 of his movies, Hillary America, and the other one was I don't know, one 2018 or what. I don't know. These movies are I don't know, very one-sided kind of thing. I don't like that. But when it comes to debates, I'm looking forward to them.
at the Democratic Party. As an individual that has grown up in an alt-right area, I am no stranger to listening to other opinions, so I appreciate you coming out and saying your opinion. I just think that you're pointing a lot of fingers at us currently, and I feel as though as a nation, the Republican and the Democratic Party should be working together.
Sure, I think
not
that's
pointing
guy,
fingers,
that's fine.
rather, but coinciding and working together to create bills and better plans for our country. And I think this is the way that we can fix America. How do you feel about that?
I agree 100%. I'm a product of the Reagan years. If you remember, Reagan and the Democrats legislated tax bills together. They did Social Security commissions together. They did a tax reform in 1986 together. There was a lot of bipartisan support for the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty with Gorbachev and the Russians. Not that there wasn't disagreement, but there was the ability to work together. And the media reflected that debate. CNN, for example, had a famous show, Crossfire, and they would have Pat Buchanan on the right, and Michael Kinsley on the left. That's the America I came of age in, and I long for it now. The reason, but we don't live in that America. Think of it, would CNN today dare to have a show in which they had, let's just say, for example, me against Rachel Maddow? I mean, a debate, admittedly, that would be more like one hand clapping, but nevertheless, they wouldn't dare. And they won't, when they cancel Crossfire, they decided to go full left. They'll have a panel of 8 people, they're all anti-Trump. They don't allow debate.
True.
So how
That
do you
is very
expect to have
true.
compromise when the mainstream...
That is very true. I mean, when you see these CNN, NBC, all this thing, it's just when Trump was in office, you will see a lot of people just bashing Trump. Like, I don't know. It was insane. It was weird to watch. It was one of the most weirdest thing ever. No debate. If there was a debate, that was only one guy that might be pro-Trump, like half, and the other ones were just bullying him. I don't know, man.
Mainstream media has arrayed its guns against Trump, and they see their job as trying to take him out. If you want to know why I seem passionate now and not quite the same guy I was in 1985, it's this. I always thought American politics was a fair-minded debate between reasonable people who disagree, and I wrote and conducted myself that way. But then when I went through what I did with the Obama administration, when I stood in a courtroom and heard a bailiff go, United States of America versus Dinesh D'Souza, when I began to deal with these people, I realized we have seen a gangsterization of the US government. I will tell you, based upon the deepest bone in my being, that if the Obama administration could have locked me up for 20 years for giving a $20,000 political contribution, they would have done it. They would have been delighted to do it because they did not see me as a critic, but as a deadly enemy that they needed to take out. That was the way they looked at it. And so I'm saying, you're very naive if you don't realize that this is going on in America. This is, today, we don't live in an America where if the government comes after you, they're not going to send two gentlemen with a file to talk to you. They're going to send police cars, helicopters overhead, automatic weapons, and until it happens to you, you won't believe it. But when you do happen, it does happen to you, you do become politically somewhat radicalized because you realize this is going on in our America, and we do need,
That's
before
so
we
sad,
can
man.
have
A person like
compromise,
him.
we need to stop it.
Very well. Oh.
He's a man of a searching and versatile.
Man, a man like him, immigrant, came here, now is making it. Did Obama did that? On purpose? For $20,000 contribution? Damn, man, there's a lot of things about Obama that I'm like, still like, what the hell, bro? Why, bro? Why you have to be like that, man? I was a huge Obama supporter. Huge one. Huge one. Remember debating one of my friends, he was from Poland. And I love Obama back then. And he used to debate me all the time, say, Paulo, you're just blind and you cannot see it. Obama's not a good president. Bad for the economy, bad for everything. Weak against Putin, and it was true. I couldn't believe it. Then things like this, unconstitutional. But I guess he's Obama. He's untouchable, I guess. There's a lot of things. But going back to Dinesh D'Souza, wow, good moments. He's a smart guy, a very smart guy. I will say somewhat kind of boring. I'm gonna be honest here. Help me out. Boring in a sense, not as feisty as Ben Shapiro, but feisty enough to protect himself, and not as appearance-wise, right? Not easy to follow, right? And I think his appearance that has nothing to do with him personally, appearance. But a great man, great American. It seems like he's doing a lot for the country, and he understands where the country is, which is very hard for a lot of people to really, like the lady. It's not the lady's fault. It's not the girl's fault, but she's naive. She doesn't understand where she will not go to for example, she will not go. I can guarantee you, she will not go to a Democratic assembly or conference like that and say, hey, why we cannot just get along with the Republicans? She will not ask that. She will get killed. 100%. She will get killed. But she goes to Republicans. They're more mature in those, more mature in that regard. Because it seems like the older you get, the more conservative you get. So there's maturity with that. She had no fear to just ask that question for him. Great, very good. Let me know what you guys think. You guys liked it? You guys didn't like it? Just let me know in the comment section below, and I'm gonna really appreciate it.